यूनिट 11 इंडियन कंपनीज एक्ट 2013। फर्स्ट टॉपिक है मीनिंग, डेफिनेशन, इंपॉर्टेंस, नेचर एंड स्कोप। पहला क्वेश्चन है रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन द इशू ऑफ शेयर एट अ प्रीमियम हैज़ बीन इम्पोज बाय द कंपनी एज पर द कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 अंडर द सेक्शन। आंसर है डी, सेक्शन 78। सेक्शन 78 of the Companies Act 1956, now section 52 of the Companies Act 2013। अब नया वाला आ गया है कंपनीज एक्ट 2013, उसमें सेक्शन 52 है। प्रोहिबिट द इशू ऑफ शेयर बाय अ कंपनी एट अ प्रीमियम। द कंपनी कैन इशू इट्स शेयर एट अ प्रीमियम बट देयर इज अ रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ अ प्रीमियम अमाउंट। इट इज़ अ कैपिटल गेन which will use only to write off the capital loss. Question number second, which of the following can be served as the best definition of a government companies? Which of the following can be served as a best definition of a government companies? Answer है E, where central, state or a local government hold more than 51% share or is working as a subsidiary to a government company. According to Section 2, Clause 45 of a Companies Act 2013, a government company is a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by, पहला है ए, द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, एनी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और एनी पार्टली बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड पार्टली बाय वन और मोर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट। तीसरा है इंक्लूड अ कंपनी विच इज सब्सिडरी ऑफ अ गवर्नमेंट कंपनी। BHEL यानी भेल, सेल एक्सेट्रा आर द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ गवर्नमेंट कंपनी। नेक्स्ट है विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ यूजुअल फीचर ऑफ अ कंपनी। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ यूजुअल फीचर ऑफ अ कंपनी, कौन सा नहीं है? आंसर है सी, अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी। अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी ये फीचर नहीं है कंपनी का, बाकी है सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी, कॉमन सील, आर्टिफिशियल जुडिशियल पर्सन और परपेचुअल सक्सेशन। द एसेंशियल फीचर ऑफ अ कंपनीज आर सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी, कॉमन सील, आर्टिफिशियल जुडिशियल पर्सन, परपेचुअल सक्सेशन और लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी। लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी है, ना कि अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी। कंपनीज नेक्स्ट है कंपनीज एक्ट वॉज एनेक्टेड इन द ईयर। कंपनी एक्ट वॉज इनेक्टेड इन द ईयर। आंसर है सी, 1956। Company Act was enacted in the year 1956. It was enacted on the recommendation of the Bhabha Committee set up in 1950. जो भाभा कमेटी थी वो 1950 में बनी थी। Now the Companies Act 1956 has replaced by Companies Act 2013. Next है under which act partnership of more than 20% for a common business would be illegal. Under which act partnership of more than 20% for common business would be illegal? कौन सा इलीगल होगा जिसमें 20% से ऊपर बिजनेस में लोग काम करेंगे? तो इंडियन कंपनीज एक्ट। आंसर है ए। According to Companies Act, a partnership consisting of a more than 20% in the case of a general partnership में, और partnership and more than 10% in case of a banking business would be illegal at a present member may be 100. फिर से पढ़ दे रही हूँ। अकॉर्डिंग टू कंपनीज एक्ट, अ पार्टनरशिप कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ अ मोर देन 20% इन केस ऑफ अ जनरल पार्टनरशिप एंड मोर देन 10% इन केस ऑफ अ बैंकिंग बिजनेस would be illegal at a present member may be 100. Hence option A is the correct option. Next है the life of joint stock company is affected by. The life of joint stock company is affected by. Answer है D, none of the above. None of the above. एक्सप्लेनेशन है अ जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी इज अ आर्टिफिशियल क्रिएटेड बाय अ लॉ। आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन है, क्रिएटेड बाय अ लॉ, हैविंग अ सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी, परपेचुअल सक्सेशन एंड अ कॉमन सील। ये जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी की डेफिनेशन ही है। अ जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी इज अ आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन क्रिएटेड बाय अ लॉ, हैविंग अ सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी, परपेचुअल सक्सेशन एंड अ कॉमन सील. Its existence is not affected by death or insanity of a member. Also, death of director and transfer of share of a member does not have any affected on the existence of company. Hence, it is clear that D is the correct answer. Next है which one of the following statement is not correct? कौन सा सही नहीं है? तो आंसर है D. The minimum number of a member in a private company would be less than 7. The minimum number of a member in a private company should not be less than 7. ये गलत है, बाकी सारे सही हैं। A private company is not required to prepare a statutory report. दूसरा है a sharing of a profit is a prima facie but not conclusive evidence of a partnership. The maximum number of a member in a private company can be 50. According to the Indian Companies Act 1956, the minimum number of a member in a private company is 2 and the maximum number is 50. However, according to revised provision of a Companies Act 2013, a private limited company can be started with the minimum 2 member and maximum 200 members. Next है question number 8. A company is an artificial person created by law having a separate entity with the perpetual succession and a common seal. Who has made this statement? किसने ये definition दी है? तो आंसर है डी, हैने ने. हैने. According to Professor Hanne, a company is an artificial person created by law having a separate legal entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 9. कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट. एजर्शन है और रीजन है. एजर्शन है द नंबर ऑफ अ मेंबर इन अ कंपनी इज 20 एंड हैंस द कंपनी इज अ प्राइवेट कंपनी. रीजन है अकॉर्डिंग टू द कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 अ प्राइवेट कंपनी इज 1 द नंबर ऑफ अ मेंबर ऑफ विच डज नॉट एक्सीड 50. तो आंसर है सी. बोथ ए एंड आर डू नॉट प्रेजेंट द होल ट्रूथ. दोनों सही चीज़ नहीं बता रहे हैं, इसमें एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दिया है. नेक्स्ट है right of a participation. Right of a participation given to preference shareholder normally implies the right to participate in. Answer है C. Divisible surplus profit bonus share. Divisible surplus profit or bonus share. Right of participation given to preference shareholder normally implies the right to participate in a divisible surplus profit and bonus share. Next है company is a called an artificial person because a company is called an artificial person because answer है D. It exists only in a contemplation of law. It exists only in a contemplation of law. A company is an artificial person because it does not have any physical form but it exists only in a contemplation of law. सिर्फ लॉ के सामने रहती, कोई फिजिकली प्रेजेंट नहीं रहती है. नेक्स्ट है Section 100 of the Companies Act 1956 allow a company to reduce its share capital under certain circumstances. Which of the following comes under the preview of this section? Section 100 of the Companies Act 1956 allow a company to reduce its share capital under certain circumstances. Which one of the following come under the preview of this section? Answer है C. Paying off any paid up capital which is in excess of the need of the company. Paying off any paid up capital which is in excess of need of the company. According to Section 100 of the Companies Act 1956, allow a company to reduce its share capital under certain circumstances. Further, under preview of this section, the company may pay off shareholders such paid up capital which is excess in of requirement of the company. Next है a special resolution is one which require. A special resolution is one which require. Answer है C. Not less than 3/4 majority of vote. Not less than 3/4 majority of vote. A special resolution is one which require not less than 3/4 majority of vote in a favor of it in order to pass Section 114 of Companies Act 2013. Next है the maximum number of a partner in a firm is fixed in. A maximum number of a partner in a firm is fixed in. Answer है B. Companies Act 1956. Companies Act 1956. According to Companies Act 1956, maximum number of a partner in a partnership firm is 20 in case of a general partnership and 10 for banking business. The Company Act 2030 has prescribed the maximum number of partner in a firm as 100. Next है proxy is appointed by a shareholder. Proxy is appointed by a shareholder. Answer है C. To vote at a meeting of a shareholder. To vote at the meeting of a shareholder. Proxy is appointed by a shareholder in his place to vote at the meeting of the shareholder. Next है duty of a company statutory auditor determined by. Duty of a company statutory auditor are determined by. Answer है C. Companies Act 1956. Companies Act 1956. The duties of a company's statutory auditor are determined by Companies Act 1956 at a present Section 143 of a Companies Act 2013. 1950 जो नया सेक्शन है मतलब कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 उसमें सेक्शन 143 में है. विच इज़ इन फोर्स फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल 2014, जो कि फोर्स में आया है 1 अप्रैल 2014 से। नेक्स्ट है शेयर कैपिटल ऑफ अ कंपनी में बी रिड्यूस बाय। शेयर कैपिटल ऑफ अ कंपनी में बी रिड्यूस बाय, आंसर है सी, अ स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन एंड परमिशन फ्रॉम अ कंपनी लॉ बोर्ड। A special resolution and permission for a company law board. If a company want to reduce its share capital mentioned in the memorandum of association, then it has to make the special resolution in this regard and get the permission of a company law board. Section 66 of the Companies Act 2013. Next है share of a private company can be sold through share of a private company can be sold through, answer है A, private circulation. The share of a private company can be sold through private circulation. Next है cost auditor is appointed by. Cost auditor is appointed by, answer is C, board of director. According to section 148 clause 3 of a Companies Act 2013, cost audit shall be conducted by a cost accountant is a practice in a practice who shall be appointed by a board resolution along with the prior approval of a central government. Next है which one of the following is a responsibility center of a cost audit? Which of the following is a responsibility center in a cost audit? Answer है D, all of the above. Profit center, revenue center, investment center. Profit, revenue and investment center. There are four type of responsibility center in a cost audit: cost center, revenue center, profit center and investment center. Next है in case of deemed public in limited company, in case of deemed public limited company, the maximum number of a member may be, answer है B, 50. The maximum number of a member in case of a deemed public limited company is 50. Hence option B is a correct answer. Next topic है formation of a company, registration and meeting. Formation of company, registration and meeting. Question number 22. A company incorporated by a special act of a parliament or any state legislature is called. A company incorporated by a special act of a parliament or any state legislature is called, answer है C, statutory company. Statutory company मीन्स कोई एक्ट बना के कोई काम करेगा कोई पार्लियामेंट या स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर तो उसे स्टैटूटरी कंपनी कहेंगे. A statutory company is a company incorporated by a special act of a parliament. For example, LIC, RBI, etc. A government company is a company in which government hold more than 50% or at least 51% stake. A public company is one which sells share to the general public, and registered company is the one which is registered under the Companies Act. Next है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज़ नॉट अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ अ कंपनी. इसमें से कौन सा कैरेक्टरिस्टिक नहीं है कंपनी का? तो आंसर है ए, नॉन कॉर्पोरेट बॉडी. नॉन कॉर्पोरेट बॉडी इसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक नहीं है. बाकी है आर्टिफिशियल पर्सनैलिटी, परपेचुअल सक्सेशन, सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी. The characteristics of a company is as follows: body corporate, artificial person, perpetual succession, separate legal entity, or common seal created by law or limited liability. Next है क्वेश्चन नंबर 24. The maximum number of a member in a private limited company can be, answer है C, 200. A private company is one that imposes restriction on the transfer of its share and the maximum number of a member is 200. Section 2 clause 68 Companies Act 2013. पहले कम था लेकिन अब जब से नया सेक्शन बन गया है तो मैक्सिमम मेंबर 200 है और इन्हें रिस्ट्रिक्शन होता है कि ये ट्रांसफ़र करें अपने शेयर को. नेक्स्ट है एज पर सेबी गाइडलाइन ऑन इशू ऑफ शेयर द एप्लीकेशन मनी शुड नॉट बी लेस देन, आंसर है डी, 25% ऑफ द इशू प्राइस ऑफ द शेयर. एज पर द सेबी गाइडलाइन ऑन द इशू ऑफ शेयर द एप्लीकेशन मनी शुड नॉट बी लेस देन 25% ऑफ द इशू प्राइस ऑफ दिस शेयर. As per SEBI guideline on the issue of share, the application money should not be less than 25% of the issue price of the share. However, according to Companies Act 2013, minimum application money should not be less than 5% of the face value of the share. पहले 25 था but अभी 5% हो गया है. Next है 26. The enterprise exclusively owned, managed and controlled by the central or the state government are known as. The enterprise exclusively owned, managed and controlled by the central or state government are known as public enterprise. Public enterprise. The enterprise exclusively owned, managed, and controlled by the state or the central government are known as a public enterprise. For example, railway, government hospital, or government school, etc. नेक्स्ट है विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट. विच वन कौन सा करेक्ट नहीं है? तो आंसर है डी. द प्रॉफिट ऑन री इशू ऑफ अ फॉरफिटेड शेयर इज ट्रांसफर टू जनरल रिजर्व अकाउंट. द प्रॉफिट ऑन री इशू ऑफ फॉरफिटेड शेयर इज ट्रांसफर टू जनरल रिजर्व अकाउंट. ये गलत है, बाकी सारे सही हैं. फॉरफिटेड शेयर कैन बी री इशूड. फॉरफिटेड शेयर को री इशू कर सकते हैं. दूसरा है अ नोटिस ऑफ अ 14 days टू शेयर होल्डर इज नेसेसरी बिफोर द फॉरफीचर ऑफ शेयर. 14 days पहले बिफोर उन्हें बताना पड़ता है कि शेयर फॉरफिट होने वाला है, जो भी है. अ नोटिस ऑफ अ 14 days टू शेयर होल्डर इज नेसेसरी बिफोर फॉरफीचर ऑफ अ शेयर. Next step, premium on issue of share can be used for a write-off of the preliminary expense. Premium on issue of share can be used for a write-off the preliminary expense. The correct form of the sentence are as follows. पहला है for future share can be reissued. दूसरा है a notice of 14 days to shareholder is necessary before forfeiture of share. शेयर होल्डर को बताना पड़ेगा 14 डे पहले कि उनका शेयर जो है वो फॉरफीचर होने जा रहा है. तीसरा है प्रीमियम ऑन इशू ऑफ शेयर कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर अ राइट ऑफ प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंस. डी है द प्रॉफिट ऑन री इशू ऑफ फॉरफिटेड शेयर इज ट्रांसफर टू कैपिटल रिजर्व अकाउंट. द प्रॉफिट ऑन री इशू ऑफ फॉरफिटेड शेयर इज ट्रांसफर टू कैपिटल रिजर्व अकाउंट. ये चीज़ इसने रजत अरोरा ने बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ाई है. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 28. फाइंड आउट द करेक्ट वन. फाइंड आउट द करेक्ट वन. आंसर है ए. राइटिंग, रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड लीगल फॉर्मेलिटीज फॉर्म एन एसेंशियल एलिमेंट ऑफ अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. राइटिंग, रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड लीगल फॉर्मेलिटीज फॉर्म एन एसेंशियल एलिमेंट ऑफ अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. Writing, registration, free consent, and legal formalities are some of the essential element of a contract according to section 2 clause H of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Contract is an agreement enforceable by law. Next है which one of the following is not a form of merger of a company. Which one of the following is not a form of merger of a company? कौन सा नहीं है? तो diagonal. बाकी हैं हॉरिजॉन्टल, वर्टिकल और कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट. द फॉलोइंग आर द फॉर्म ऑफ अ मर्जर कंपनी. हॉरिजॉन्टल, वर्टिकल, कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट और कॉन्जेनरिक. नेक्स्ट है वन ऑफ द प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द कंपनी सेक्रेटरी इज टू अटेंड द एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग ऑफ अ कंपनी. एज पर कंपनीज एक्ट, एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग एंड द requisition extraordinary general meeting are explained US dash. Answer है C. 166 to 169. The primary responsibility of the company secretary is that he take part in an annual general meeting of the company. The description of the annual general meeting and a requisition extraordinary meeting is given in the section 166 to 169 of the Companies Act 1956, whereas Companies Act 2013 as per section 96 for annual general meeting and section 100 clause 1 for extraordinary general meeting. तो हमें लेटेस्ट वाला याद रखना है कि 2013 के अकॉर्डिंग एज पर सेक्शन 96 फॉर एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग एंड सेक्शन 100 क्लाउज 1 फॉर एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी जनरल मीटिंग. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 31. The limit of investment in a plant and machinery to be classified as a small scale industry is. The limit of investment in a plant and machinery to be classified as a small scale industry is. Answer है B. 5 crore. A small scale industry refer to an industrial undertaking whose investment in a fixed assets, that is plant and machinery, it is not less than rupees 1 crore. Nevertheless, considering the need of a small scale industry which are dependent on the export, promotion and modernization, the maximum limit for investment in a fixed asset is rupees 5 crore. Next है question number 32. A company is said to have an incorporate when. A company is said to have been incorporated when. Answer है B. Certificate of incorporation has been obtained from the registrar. Certificate of incorporation has been obtained from the registrar. A company is said to have been incorporated when it received the certificate of incorporation from the registrar, when the registrar is satisfied that all necessary and statutory requirement related to the incorporation has been fulfilled by the company and it is to be registered under this act if authorized. He registered the submitted document and keep it with himself and issue incorporate certificate in the name of company. According to Section 35 of the Companies Act, this certificate is conclusive proof that all the requirement and procedure related to registration have been compiled with by the companies and the organization is entitled to be registered as a company. Next है which of the following section of the Companies Act 2013 facilitate amalgamation, absorption and reconstruction of a company? तो आंसर है ए 319 319 Section 319 of a Companies Act 2030 facilitate amalgamation, absorption and reconstruction of a company. Next है the appropriate sequence of a formation of a company are in the following under order. The appropriate sequence of a formation of a company are in the following orders. इसका order लगाना है तो आंसर है बी promotion आएगा पहले फिर incorporation, capital subscription and commencement of business. Promotion, incorporation, capital subscription and commencement of business. A company is an artificial person created by law. It means that company is created as a separate legal entity, invisible, intangible, and existing only in a contemplation of law. The process of forming a company is a step by step process and it appropriate sequence is as follows. First है promotion of a company, second है incorporation and registration of a company, third है capital subscription stage और fourth है commencement of business. Next है the optimum capital structure of a company is planned as per consideration. The optimum capital structure of a company is planned as per consideration. Answer है B 2 3 4 only. तो तीन चारों क्या हैं प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी सॉल्वेंसी मार्केटेबिलिटी ऑफ शेयर एंड कंट्रोल तो आंसर है 3 2 3 4 तो सॉल्वेंसी है मार्केटेबिलिटी ऑफ शेयर एंड कंट्रोल. While planning the optimum capital structure of any company, the main goal of the financial manager is to protect the interest of owner. The financial manager take full care that the security or suitable as per risk, profitability and control of equity shareholder. It is clear from the above that while planning the optimum capital structure of a company, the focus is on solvency, marketability, and control of share, and on the basis of that, the management plan its upcoming activities. And hence, option B is the correct answer. Means profitability नहीं होता है, बाकी solvency, marketability of share and control होता है. Next है how many times a company held statutory meeting in its lifetime? How many times a company held statutory meeting in its lifetime? Answer है A1. Statutory meeting is held only once in the lifetime of a company. Means साल में एक बार तो करना है. नहीं lifetime है. Lifetime of a company. Statutory meeting is held only once in a lifetime of a company. The company is required to convey or call a statutory meeting at least within 1 month or not more than 6 months after getting certificate of commencement of business. Next, a company can commence its business. A public company can commence its business. Answer is C. After obtaining certificate of commencement of business. After obtaining certificate of commencement of business. A public company or a limited liability company can start its business only if it is obtained certificate of commencement of business. Otherwise, it cannot start its business. While a private limited company can commence business after obtaining a certificate of incorporation. मीन्स पब्लिक कंपनी है तो उसे पूरा लास्ट स्टेज तक जब तक उसे सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट नहीं मिल जाता तब तक वो नहीं होगी स्टार्ट नहीं करेगी. बट प्राइवेट कंपनी में वो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन के बाद ही अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर सकती है. नेक्स्ट है प्रमोशन ऑफ अ कंपनी इंक्लूड्स आंसर है डी ऑल ऑफ द अबव. पहला है डिस्कवरी ऑफ एन आइडिया, discovery of an idea, detailed examination of the proposal, or gathering the factor of a production. A promoter is a person who is engaged in promoting the formation and incorporation of the company. It is a promoter of a company who conceive the idea of formation of a company for which he perform following activities: discovering of an idea, detailed examination of a proposal, gathering the factor of a production, coordination of a resources of a production. Next है who is not required to hold statutory meeting. Who is not required to hold statutory meeting? आंसर है डी, ऑल ऑफ द अबव। यानी अ सोल ट्रेडर, अ पार्टनरशिप फर्म और कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी ये नहीं कर सकते, इनके लिए रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है कि ये स्टैट्यूटरी मीटिंग करें। तो सोल ट्रेडर, a partnership firm or a cooperative society. Statutory meeting means a meeting which is convened only once in the lifetime of a public limited company. The following institutions are not required to convey or call a statutory meeting: a sole trader, a partnership firm, or a cooperative society. Question number 40. Which of the following statement is are correct? ऑप्शन है ए, इट इज़ अ मैंडेटरी टू रजिस्टर द कंपनी। दूसरा है लाइबिलिटी, द लाइबिलिटी ऑफ द मेंबर इन अ कंपनी इज़ अनलिमिटेड। तीसरा है द शेयर ऑफ द कंपनी कैन बी ट्रांसफर्ड। आंसर है सी, ए एंड सी, यानी दो कौन से सही है, ए और सी। तो इट इज़ मैंडेटरी टू रजिस्टर द कंपनी, और सी है द शेयर ऑफ अ कंपनी कैन बी ट्रांसफर्ड। अकॉर्डिंग टू द कंपनीज एक्ट, द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द कंपनी। It is legally necessary to register a company because the company comes into existence only after registration. दूसरा है the liability of a member. The liability of the member of the company is limited to the face value of share held by. और तीसरा है the shareholder of a public limited company can freely transfer their share to any other person. Thus the statement A and C are correct. Next है, within how many days from the date of registration the first auditor of the company should be appointed by? Within how many days from the date of registration the first auditor of the company should be appointed? Answer है C, 30 days. According to Section 139, Clause 6 of the Companies Act 2013, the actual existence of the companies take place only after the incorporation of the companies, and within 30 days from the incorporation, the first auditor of the company should be appointed, and such tenure of the appointed auditor only till the conducting first annual general meeting. Generally, first auditor is appointed by the promoter. यानी जो फर्स्ट ऑडिटर है वो उसे अपॉइंट करता है promoter. A company cannot come into existence without. A company cannot come into existence without. आंसर है बी, गेटिंग सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन। ये प्राइवेट कंपनी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है। A company come into existence only after it is registered under the act and get the certificate of incorporation is issued by the registrar of the company. After incorporation, the company has its own separate legal entity and a common seal of a company. Next है 43. The time interval between two annual general meetings should not exceed, or the maximum time lag between two annual general meeting of a company can be. Answer है B, 15 months. There should be a gap of more than 50 months between two annual general meeting, but so far as the first annual general meeting of a company is concerned, the company may call it any time within 18 months after incorporation, whereas according to Companies Act 2013, the annual general meeting should be held within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Hence option B is correct. Next है question number 44. It is necessary to call a meeting of a board of director at least once. It is necessary to call a meeting of a board of director at least once. Answer है B, every 3 months. Every 3 months. The control and management of a company is under the board of director. Therefore, important decisions regarding the companies are taken only in the meeting of a board of directors. The director in their meeting take decision regarding the managerial function and issue of share allotment for future dividend etc, and determine the policy of the company. According to Companies Act, the meeting of a board of director must be convened at least once in the every 3 months and at least 4 times in a whole year. Next है, a company must hold its first annual general meeting within a period of 18 months from the date of its incorporation. Answer है A. A company must hold its first annual general meeting within 18 months from the date of incorporation. It is a statutory requirement by the companies to call an annual general meeting every year. There should not be gap more than 50 months between two annual general meeting of the company. Next है, study the following statement and mark your answer according to answer code given below. The duty of the duty of a company secretary at an incorporation stage, among other, are पहला है टू फिल द एप्लीकेशन विद रजिस्ट्रार, सेकंड है टू सिक्योर द सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल, थर्ड है टू पे टू प्रमोटर्स देयर रेमुनरेशन, फोर्थ है टू कीप रिकॉर्ड। आंसर है ए 1 and 4 ओनली करेक्ट। 1 and 4, वन है टू फाइल द एप्लीकेशन विद द रजिस्ट्रार और टू कीप रिकॉर्ड्स। The duty of a company secretary at the incorporation stage, among the other, are to file the application with registrar. Second है to keep record. Question number 47. Minutes of the meeting of a member of the company are to be confirmed. मिनट जो बनाते हैं मीटिंग में, मिनट ऑफ अ मीटिंग ये सेक्रेटरी बनाते हैं। मिनट ऑफ द मीटिंग ऑफ अ मेंबर ऑफ द कंपनी आर कन्फर्म बाय चेयरमैन ऑफ द सेम मीटिंग। चेयरमैन ऑफ द सेम मीटिंग। Minutes of the meeting of the member of the company are to be confirmed by the chairman of the same meeting, whereas it is made by the secretary. It contains the detail of the proceeding of the meeting. ये जितनी भी मीटिंग में बातें हुई रहती है उस चीज़ को ये लिखते हैं। नेक्स्ट है statutory meeting of a company must be held within statutory meeting of a company must be held within answer है D 6 month of obtaining the certificate for commencement of business। 6 month of obtaining the certificate for commencement of business। A company must convey a call statutory meeting within 6 month of obtaining the certificate of commencement of business। नेक्स्ट है अ प्राइवेट कंपनी आंसर ए हैज़ अ रजिस्टर्ड इट्स आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन। हैज़ टू रजिस्टर्ड इट्स आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन। अ प्राइवेट कंपनी हैज़ टू रजिस्टर इट्स आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन। आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन ऑफ अ कंपनी आर द रूल एंड रेगुलेशन गवर्निंग द इंटरनल मैनेजमेंट ऑफ अ कंपनी। नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 50। अ पब्लिक कॉरपोरेशन इज आंसर है डी an undertaking institute under a special enactment of either the parliament or the state legislature। An undertaking constituted under a special enactment of either the parliament or the state legislature। A public corporation is an undertaking constituted under the special enactment of either parliament or the public legislature। Question number 51. A private company is deemed to be a public company if a private company is deemed to be a public company if answer है B not less than 25% of its paid up capital is held by one or more bodies corporate। Not less than 25% of its paid up capital is held by one or more bodies corporate। If 25% or if 25% or more of the share of a private company are held one or more corporate entity such as a public company, it should be deemed to be a public company। In case of sale, the average sale of the last 3 years should be 10 crore। Next है question number 52. If a company fail to secure the minimum subscription, then it should if a company fail to secure minimum subscription, then it should answer है C return with interest the application money to the applicant within a stipulated period। Return with interest the application money to the applicant within a stipulated period। A company after obtaining the certificate of incorporation, if fail to receive the minimum subscription amount of 90% of the issued share capital, then it should return that requested amount along with interest to be applicant within the specified period। नेक्स्ट है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट ट्रू। कौन सा सही नहीं है? आंसर है बी इफ़ नो ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड एट द एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग ऑफ द कंपनी द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मस्ट बी सो इन्फॉर्म्ड विद इन 15 days। ये सही नहीं है, बाकी सारे सही हैं। द फर्स्ट ऑडिटर ऑफ अ कंपनी मस्ट बी अपॉइंटेड विद इन 1 month आफ्टर द रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ अ कंपनी। दूसरा है अ कॉर्पोरेट बॉडी कैन नॉट बी अपॉइंटेड एन ऑडिटर ऑफ अ कंपनी। तीसरा है द ऑडिटर इज एन एजेंट ऑफ अ शेयर होल्डर। इफ नो ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड at an annual general meeting of a company, the central government must be so informed within 15 days or 7 days। The above statement is not true, hence option B is the right answer। Next है a private limited company, answer है D, need not hold statutory meeting. Need नहीं होगा, need होगा. Need not hold statutory meeting. A private company and a company limited by a guarantee and not having a share capital need not hold a statutory meeting. मीन्स प्राइवेट कंपनी को स्टैट्यूटरी मीटिंग करने की वो कोई मतलब वो नहीं है, नीड नहीं है. नेक्स्ट है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी कैन नॉट बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ पब्लिक कंपनी बाय डिमांड ऑफ अ पब्लिक. अ प्राइवेट कंपनी कैन नॉट बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ पब्लिक कंपनी बाय, आंसर है डी, डिमांड ऑफ अ पब्लिक. A private company cannot be converted into a public company on a public demand. Next, the quorum of a general meeting in the case of a public limited company is, the quorum of a general meeting in a case of a public limited company is, answer है D, 5 member. The quorum of a general meeting in case of a public limited company is 5 member personally present and entitled to vote. Quorum means the minimum number of a member whose presence is necessary for a meeting. Next है, a statutory auditor of a private limited company is duty bound to submit his report to. A statutory auditor of a private limited company is duty bound to submit his report to, answer है D, the shareholder in the annual general meeting. It is a mandatory for a private company to conduct audit, and if it is conducted, then a statutory auditor of a private limited company is duty bound to submit his report to the shareholder in the annual general meeting. Next है, a private company is deemed to be a public company when not less than 25% of its paid up share capital is held by one or more bodies corporate. A private company can be considered as a public company if at least 25% of its paid up capital is required by one or more corporate entity. Next है, with the special permission of the registrar joint stock company, the financial year of a company may at the most extend to, आंसर है सी, 18 month. विद द सेक्शन, दोबारा पढ़ दे रही हूँ, विद द स्पेशल परमिशन ऑफ द रजिस्ट्रार जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी, द फाइनेंशियल ईयर ऑफ द कंपनीज में at the most be extended to 18 month. Section 210 clause 4 of the Companies Act 1956 provide that a financial year may be less or more than a calendar year, but it shall not exceed 15 months. The financial year may be extended to 18 months from the special permission was required to be obtained from the registrar of a company in form number 16. Next है, certificate of commencement of a business is not required by a private company. Certificate of a commencement of a business is not required by a private company. आंसर है सी. ये तो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन से भी स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. It is not necessary for a private company to take a certificate of a commencement of business. It can start business only after a getting certificate of incorporation. Next है, statutory meeting is not to be held in a new company is, statutory meeting is not to be held if a new company is, answer है C, private limited company. Private limited company. मम्मी वाली मोबाइल दे दे. It is not private limited company. A private limited company is not required to convey or call a statutory meeting. It is required by a public company with limited liability and having a share capital. Next है, voting in a company meeting can be through, voting in a company meeting can be through, answer है D, all of the above. Ballot, raising hand और raising voice. मीन्स ये 3 तरीके से कर सकते हैं, बैलोट के थ्रू, रेजिंग हैंड हाथ उठा के, और रेजिंग वॉइस चिल्ला के या बोल के. वोटिंग इन अ कंपनी कैन बी थ्रू अ बैलोट, रेजिंग हैंड एंड रेजिंग वॉइस. नेक्स्ट है, इन अ प्राइवेट कंपनी शेयर आर, इन अ प्राइवेट कंपनी शेयर आर, आंसर है सी, नॉन ट्रांसफरेबल. नॉन ट्रांसफरेबल. In a private company, shares are non-transferable because it is prohibited according to the Companies Act. Next, a company has earned profit prior to its getting certificate to commence business. It should be transferred to. A company has earned profit prior to its getting certificate to commence business. It should be transferred to, answer A D, capital reserve account. Capital reserve account. The profit earned by a company before getting the certificate of commencement of a business comes in a category of a capital gain, so it should be transferred to a capital reserve account. Next, a certificate of commencement of a business is not required by commencement. A certificate of commencement of a business is not required in a private company. प्राइवेट कंपनी में इम्पोर्टेंट मतलब रिक्वायर्ड नहीं होता है, पब्लिक कंपनी में होता है। प्राइवेट कंपनी में तो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन में ही हो जाता है। प्राइवेट कंपनी इज़ नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू obtain a certificate of commencement of a business. It can start its business immediately after incorporation. Next है certificate to commence business is essential for certificate to commence business is essential for आंसर है ए पब्लिक कंपनी। A public company cannot commence its business unless it receive a certificate of commencement of a business along with certificate of incorporation. Next है which one of the following is not an advantage of the incorporation as a company? Which one of the following is not an advantage of the incorporation as a company? Answer है D freedom to do any business. Freedom to do any business. There is no freedom to do any business on an incorporation of an entity as a company. Next है for a voluntary winding up of company by member which resolution is required. For a voluntary winding up of a company by the member which resolution is required. Answer है B special resolution. For a voluntary winding up of a company by the member special resolution is required. A special resolution is a resolution which require at least 75% of the vote cast by shareholder in favor of it in order to pass. Next है annual general meeting of a company is called by the annual general meeting of a company is called by the board of director. Answer है B board of director. The board of director is the proper authority to convey AGM यानी annual general meeting, and if the managing director, manager, secretary or other officer call a meeting without such authority, it will not be effectual unless the board ratify the act before the meeting is held. A public company must give at least 21 clear days notice for convening annual general meeting, preferably by email where email address is available. Next है minute for a meeting must be signed by minute of a meeting must be signed by both chairman and secretary. Minute of a meeting must be signed by both chairman and secretary of the house. Hence option C is correct. ये बनाता ही secretary है और उसके बाद chairman भी इस पे साइन करता है, यानी both के साइन लगते हैं। नेक्स्ट है what is not included in the quorum for a valid company meeting? What is not included in the quorum for a valid company meeting? Answer है A proxy. The provision related to a valid general meeting are mentioned from section 171 to 186 of the Companies Act 1956. Currently, Companies Act 2030 is applicable. Proxies are not included while counting the quorum of the meeting of the company. For a valid meeting of a public company, 5 member, and for a private company 2 member are required. मीन्स कोरम के लिए पब्लिक कंपनी के 5 मेंबर, अगर प्राइवेट कंपनी के 2 मेंबर। प्रॉक्सी काउंट नहीं होता है। नेक्स्ट है at least how many hour before the time of the meeting a member of a company can appoint by an instrument in a writing a proxy to attend and vote a meeting in his place? Answer is C 48 hour. A member of a company may 48 hours before the time of the meeting by an instrument appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his place. Next है question number 73. What is the quorum of an annual general meeting in case of a private company? तो अभी आया था आंसर है टू members. आंसर है A. Quorum means the minimum number of a member whose presence is necessary for a meeting so be considered valid. फिर से पढ़ दे रही quorum means the minimum number of a member whose presence is necessary for the meeting to be considered valid. There should be minimum 2 member for completion of a quorum in a general meeting in case of a private company and 5 in a public company. Next है the annual general meeting of a company require a notice of at least answer है B 21 days. Annual general meeting of a company require a notice at least 21 days. The annual general meeting of a company require a notice of at least 21 days to its member. Next है which of the following business is not transacted at the annual general meeting of a company? Which of the following business is not transacted at the annual general meeting of the company? Answer है C, issue of debenture. ये नहीं है, इशू ऑफ डिवेंचर नहीं है. बाकी है द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ ऑडिटर, फिक्सेशन ऑफ अ रिम्यूनरेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ डायरेक्टर इन प्लेस ऑफ दोज रिटायरिंग. The following functions are performed in the annual general meeting of the company. पहला है consideration and adoption of the audited financial statement, consideration of the director report and auditor report, consideration of the director report and auditor report, dividend declaration, appointment of a director to replace their retiring director, appointment of auditor, deciding the remuneration of the auditor. मीन्स क्या क्या चीज़ें एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग में डिसाइडेड की जाती है, तो ये सारी चीज़ें थी. नेक्स्ट है, इसमें इशू ऑफ डिबेंचर की वो चीज़ें नहीं डिस्कस करते होंगे. नेक्स्ट है अ स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन रिक्वायर. आंसर है सी, 21 days notice. 21 day notice. A special resolution is a resolution of a company shareholder which require at least 3/4 majority in a favor of it in order to pass. The notice of the meeting for the resolution should be sent 21 days before the resolution to be proposed should be clearly mentioned in the notice. Next है, which of the following document comes under doctrine of constructive notice? Which of the following document comes under doctrine of constructive notice? Answer है C, the memorandum and article of association. The memorandum and article of association. Both the memorandum of association and the article of association are a public document of a company. Any person concerned can get information regarding these documents, hence both these document comes under the doctrine of constructive notice. मतलब दोनों ही डॉक्यूमेंट्स को डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टिव नोटिस कहते हैं, ये दोनों इसके अंदर आते हैं. नेक्स्ट है, डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ अ डिविडेंड इज़ एन इम्पॉर्टेंट आइटम ऑफ द एजेंडा ऑफ. डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ अ डिविडेंड इज़ एन इम्पॉर्टेंट आइटम ऑफ एजेंडा ऑफ. आंसर है बी, एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग. An annual general meeting is a yearly gathering between shareholder of a company and its board of director to review the activity of a company at least once in the year. An AGM may have a various agenda to discuss, but distribution of a dividend is stated as one of the most important agenda. Dividend are distributed after declaration in AGM at the rate decided by the board. Next है, if a company fail to appoint an auditor in annual general meeting, auditor may be appointed by central government. अगर कंपनी फेल हो जाती है अपॉइंट करना ऑडिटर को, तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट करती है. If a company fail to appoint an auditor in a annual general meeting, this appointment will made by the central government, and according to the Companies Act 1956, in the annual general meeting, information about the non-appointment of the auditor should be given to the central government within a week. Next time, minute of a meeting must be signed by. Minute of a meeting must be signed by. आंसर है सी, चेयरमैन एंड सेक्रेटरी बोथ. चेयरमैन एंड सेक्रेटरी बोथ. ये क्वेश्चन अभी आगे भी आया था. Minute of a meeting must be signed by both the chairman and the secretary of the house. All uh, all important decisions to be taken in the meeting are recorded in the minute of the meeting. Question number 80. Minute of a meeting must be signed by chairman and secretary both. Minute of a meeting must be signed by both the chairman and the secretary of the house. All important decisions to be taken in the meeting are recorded in the minute of the meeting. Next है, the first annual general meeting of a company must be held within. Answer है C, 18 months from the date of its incorporation. According to Companies Act 1956, the first annual general meeting of a company must be held within 18 months from the date of its incorporation. The company must give a clear 21 days notice to its member for calling the annual general meeting. Short form में AGM. Next है, matter to be transacted in the meeting is recorded in. Matter to be transacted in the meeting is recorded in. Answer है C, minute. Matter to be transacted in the meeting is recorded in the minute. Minute should be contain a fair and correct summary of the proceeding of the meeting. It should convey what decision were arrived at in a relation to each business transacted at a meeting. Next है, the minute book of a company meeting can be examined by. Answer A, shareholder without paying any fee. The minute of the meeting should be recorded by the company secretary in a minute book within 30 days of the meeting. It is signed by the chairman and the secretary of the meeting. The minute book of a company meeting can be examined by the shareholder of the company without any fee. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. पहला क्वेश्चन है क्वेश्चन नंबर 84. मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन इज आर. आंसर है डी, चार्टर ऑफ अ कंपनी. Memorandum of Association is the charter of a company in which all its legal information is mentioned. It consists of 6 clauses which are as follows: name clause, office clause, object clause, liability clause, capital clause. ये 6 चीज़ हैं: नेम, ऑफिस, ऑब्जेक्ट, लाइबिलिटी और कैपिटल. इसके अलावा नहीं, एज और सॉरी एजर्शन क्लाउज भी है. एवरी कंपनी नीड टू फॉर्म इट्स मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन प्रियर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन. नेक्स्ट है, यानी कौन कौन से हैं: नेम, ऑफिस, ऑब्जेक्ट, लाइबिलिटी, कैपिटल, एजर्शन. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 85. बिफोर फॉर फीचर ऑफ शेयर द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी हैव टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल गिव अ नोटिस अलाउ एट लीस्ट. आंसर है डी, 14 days to pay the amount and interest thereon. 14 days to pay the amount and interest thereon. Whenever a shareholder is unable to pay the called up amount, the company have a right to forfeit the amount received on share. But before the actual forfeiture of the share, the company may send a notice to the defaulting shareholder asking payment of call. The notice must give not less than 14 days time from the date of service of a notice for the payment of amount of a call along with interest. Table F, Schedule 1, Companies Act 2013. Next है, the limit of a maximum number of a member in a private company is. The limit of a maximum number of a member in a private company is. Answer है B, 200. According to Section 2, Clause 68 of a Companies Act 2013, a private company means a company having a minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed and which by its article. पहला है restrict the right to transfer its share. दूसरा है except in case of a one person company, limit the number of its member to 200. Prohibit any invitation to the public to subscribe for any security of the company. Next है, the person who signed the memorandum of association of a company are called. Answer है C, subscriber to memorandum of association. The person who signed the memorandum of association of a company are called subscriber to memorandum of association. They are also the first shareholder of the company. A private company need minimum 2 subscriber, whereas a public company need minimum 7 subscriber for signing the memorandum of association. यानी इन पब्लिक प्राइवेट कंपनी में 2 सब्सक्राइबर होने चाहिए मिनिमम, और पब्लिक कंपनी में 7 मिनिमम सब्सक्राइबर होने चाहिए साइनिंग के लिए मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 88. द आउटसाइडर डीलिंग विद द कंपनी इन अ गुड फेथ हैव द राइट टू presume that the company has duly completed all the formalities is a principle of. Answer है B, indoor management. The outsider dealing with the company in good faith have the right to presume that the company has duly completed all the formalities. It is a principle of indoor management. Next है the doctrine of ultra virus cover act which are. The doctrine of ultra virus cover act which are. Answer है B, beyond the object stated in the memorandum of association only. Memorandum of Association is the charter of the company and it specifies the scope of the activity of a company according to which company will carry its operation. Therefore, if any work is done beyond the object state in the Memorandum of Association, then it is called a doctrine of a ultra wire. मीन्स अगर इसके मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन के बियॉन्ड कोई काम किया तो वो डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ अल्ट्रा वायर कहलाएगा. नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 90. सेक्शन 2 क्लाउज 36 ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट इज रिलेटेड टू. आंसर है बी, प्रोस्पेक्टस. According to Section 2, Clause 36 of the Companies Act 1956, prospectus means any document describe or issue as a prospectus and include any notice, circular, advertisement or other document inviting deposit from the public or inviting offer from the public for the subscription or purchase of any share or debenture of a body corporate. Note, this question has been excluded from the evaluation process. Next, every company has to file with registrar a copy of. Every company has a file every company has to file with registrar a copy of answer is C memorandum of association. Every company has to file a copy of a memorandum of association with registrar. There are three important documents to be filed at the time of incorporation of any new public company. पहला है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन, आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन और थर्ड है प्रोस्पेक्टस. Memorandum of association is a very important statutory document or a charter of a company in which name of the company, head office, objective, liabilities and capital are mentioned. Every company has to work within the limit of its memorandum because any act done beyond it will be considered as a ultra vire act and void. Question number 92. Which of the following is not included in the memorandum of association? तो आंसर है बी ज्यूरिडिक्शन क्लाउज. तो कौन कौन से थे? नेम क्लाउज, ऑब्जेक्ट क्लाउज, लाइबिलिटी, कैपिटल, एसोसिएशन या एजर्शन क्लाउज और रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस क्लाउज. According to Section 4 of the Companies Act 2013, the following clause are mentioned in the Memorandum of Association. पहला है name clause, registered office clause, object clause, liability clause, capital clause और association या assertion clause. Association ही याद रखना. Next है which of the following refers to the situation in which the merger of a company result in over 25% of the market in the hand of the merged company. Which of the following refers to the situation in which the merger of a company result in over 25% of the market in which 25% of market in the hand of the merged company? Answer is share of supply test. Share of supply test. Share of supply refers to situation in which the merger of a company result in over 25% of the market in the hand of the merged company. Next है which capital is mentioned in the capital clause of the memorandum of association of a company? Answer is C authorized capital. The company authorized capital is mentioned in the capital clause of the memorandum of association. It is the maximum amount from which company is registered. The company cannot carry on a business in excess of this fixed amount. For example, if the authorized capital of the company is 1 lakh rupees, then the company cannot do business for more than 1 lakh. मीन्स जितना कैपिटल क्लाउज में लिखा होगा कि कितने कैपिटल से बिजनेस स्टार्ट होना है उतना ही रहेगा, ना उससे ज़्यादा ना उससे कम. नेक्स्ट है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ अ कंपनी? तो वही है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. Memorandum of association is the most important document of a company. It is a document that contains all the regulations that govern a company relation with the outside world. Next है which document define the relationship of the company with the outside world? Or which one of the following document define the relation of a company with the outside world? तो आंसर है A memorandum of association. Memorandum of association is a document that define the relationship of the company with the outside world. In other words, memorandum of association is a very important statutory document or a charter of the company in which name of the company, head office, purpose, liability and the capital are mentioned and which discuss its right, scope, liability. Every company has to work within its memorandum and any work done beyond it is considered as a void and ultra vire act. Next 97. When a company deal in excess of the right granted by its memorandum of association, then it is called ultra vire. When a company deal in excess of the right means जितना right है उससे ज़्यादा करने पे is granted by its memorandum of association, then it is called doctrine of ultra vire. A company can neither be said on an ultra vire act nor can it sue on it. Next step for a company to carry out capital reduction permission is required from. For a company to carry out capital reduction permission is required from. Answer है B court. According to Companies Act, a company is registered with its authorized capital. It is the maximum amount for which share can be issued by a company. If there is a need to reduce this capital anytime in a future, then before this permission of court is required. National Company Law Tribunal. Next is study the following statement and give your answer according to the answer code given below. When a promoter moves on registrar of a company for registration, the application must among other be accompanied by answer है 1 and 2 only. 1 and 2 यानी memorandum and article of association, written consent of the director. Written consent of the director. When a promoter moves the registrar of a company for registration, the application must, among other, be accompanied by memorandum of association and article of association or written consent of director. Next है question number 100. Name of the company can be changed by, or a company can change its name by, answer है D, a special resolution and with approval of the central government. कुछ भी चेंज करना होगा आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन में तो स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन के थ्रू या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के थ्रू उसे बताना पड़ेगा. चेंज इन द नेम क्लाउज ऑफ द कंपनी इन्वॉल्व alteration of a memorandum of association of the company. A company can change its name by passing a special resolution and with the approval of the central government. Next है reduction of share capital of a company can be affected by. Reduction of a share capital of a company can be affected by answer है C, paying of paid up share capital which is in excess requirement. Paying of paid up share capital which is in excess of requirement. According to Section 100 of the Companies Act 1956, now Companies Act 2013, allow a company to reduce its share capital under certain circumstances. Further, under preview of this section, the company may pay off shareholders such paid up capital in is in excess of the requirement of the company. Next है the doctrine of ultra wire cover act which are answer है C, beyond the object state in the memorandum of association only. The doctrine of ultra wire cover act which are beyond the object state in the memorandum of association. Next है clauses in the memorandum of association accompany are, or the total number of a clause in the memorandum of association of a company is 6 clause हैं. According to section 13 of the Companies Act 1956, at the present Companies Act 2013, there are 6 clause in the memorandum of association of a company. पहला है नेम क्लाउज, रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस क्लाउज, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लाउज, लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी क्लाउज, कैपिटल क्लाउज और एसोसिएशन क्लाउज. नेक्स्ट है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन डज नॉट कंटेन इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू. मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन डज नॉट कंटेन इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटिंग टू आंसर है डी प्रोसीजर एंड रूल ऑफ अलॉटमेंट ऑफ शेयर. प्रोसीजर एंड रूल ऑफ अलॉटमेंट ऑफ शेयर इज़ नॉट कंटेन इंफॉर्मेशन, मतलब ये उसमें नहीं रहता मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन में. क्या है मैक्सिमम लिमिट ऑफ कैपिटल, नंबर एंड टाइप ऑफ शेयर और नॉमिनल वैल्यू ऑफ शेयर. मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन डज नॉट कंटेन इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू प्रोसीजर एंड रूल ऑफ अलॉटमेंट ऑफ शेयर. ऐसा कुछ भी इसमें नहीं है. बाकी है मैक्सिमम लिमिट ऑफ कैपिटल, नंबर एंड टाइप ऑफ शेयर और नॉमिनल वैल्यू ऑफ शेयर. कोई रूल और प्रोसीजर नहीं दिया है कि हाँ कैसे अलॉटमेंट ऑफ शेयर देना है. नेक्स्ट है अ चेंज इन द रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस ऑफ द कंपनी फ्रॉम वन स्टेट टू अनदर कैन बी अफेक्टेड बाय. आंसर है डी अ स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन एंड कंफर्मेशन फ्रॉम द कंपनी लॉ बोर्ड. The company can change the place of its registered office from one state to another with special resolution under Section 17, Clause 1 of the Companies Act and with the approval of the Company Law Board. Next है which one of the following document define the scope of company activity. Which one of the following document define the scope of company activity? तो memorandum of association. The memorandum of association define the company function and its scope. It is also known as the charter of the company. Next है a company can invest money in another company only if it is so authorized by following memorandum of association. A company can invest money in another company only if it is so authorized by the memorandum of association. Next है Table A of a Companies Act give model of. Table A of the Companies Act give model of. Answer है C, Article of Association. Table A of the Companies Act give model of article of association that contain rules and regulation for internal management of a company. A public company, in absence of its AOA, any article of association may adopt any or all of the provision of Table A which contain modification. Note: according to Companies Act 2013, Table F give model of article of association. मतलब पहले टेबल ए था जब कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 था, अभी नया वो हो गया है कंपनीज एक्ट 2013, तो उसमें टेबल एफ ये सारे मॉडल देता है. नेक्स्ट है ऑब्जेक्ट क्लाउज ऑफ द मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन कैन बी अल्टर्ड बाय अ स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन एंड कंफर्मेशन ऑफ अ कंपनी लॉ बोर्ड. मीन्स जितने भी 6 क्लाउज है अगर उसमें किसी में भी अल्टरेशन करना हो तो उसके लिए एक स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन पास करना होगा. The condition and provision of the object clause can be altered to the extent and in the manner provided by the Act, which allow alteration by special resolution and confirmation by the Company Law Board. Next, the action of the company will be ultra vire if they are not permitted by the following. Answer A. Memorandum of Association. The action of a company will be ultra vire if they are not permitted by the Memorandum of Association. Any act done by a company which travel beyond the power of a company is wholly void and inoperative in law and therefore not binding on the company. Question number 111 मतलब 111 स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी इन केस ऑफ. किस केस में नेसेसरी नहीं है स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन? तो इशू ऑफ शेयर एट डिस्काउंट. There are 6 clauses in the Memorandum of Association of a company for the change in the following cases. Special resolution is required. पहला है change in registered office from one state to another. दूसरा है change in name of the company. In case of reduction of share capital, change in object clause of the company. यानी बाकी जितने ऑप्शन थे उसमें हैं, सिर्फ issue of share at discount इसमें necessary नहीं है. Next है which of the following document of a company can be regarded as a window through which an investor can look into the position of a company? Which of the following document of a company can be regarded as a window through which an investor can look into the position of a company? तो मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन के थ्रू कोई भी कंपनी को अच्छे से देख सकते हैं. Memorandum of Association. Answer A. Memorandum of Association is the charter of the company and define the right of the company established under the Act. It is a public document which is open to public for inspection and therefore it can be regarded as a window through which an investor can look into the position of the company. Next, in case of the company for which of the following items a special resolution is required? To answer D, all of the above. Alteration of the name of the company, alteration of share capital, appointment of selling agent. In case of company, a special resolution is required in the following clause: change in the name of company, change in the object clause, or change in registered office. Next है which one of the following is called charter of a company? तो memorandum of association. Memorandum of Association is called Chartered of a Company. It is very important document as it contains the basic condition on which the company is incorporated. It defines its constitution and the scope of the power of the company with which it has been established under the Act. Any act done by a company which are beyond the scope of memorandum are said to be null and void, and therefore a memorandum of association is known as a charter of the company. Next है object clause of the memorandum of association can be altered by a special resolution and confirmed by the company law board. The condition and provision of the object clause can be altered to extend and in manner provided by the act which allow alteration by special resolution and confirmation by the company law board. Next topic है article of association. The written agreement between the partner is called partnership deed. A written agreement between the partner is called partnership deed. The written agreement between partner is called partnership deed. This agreement defines detail like a nature of the firm, duties and right of a partner, their liability and the ratio in which they will divide profit or loss of the firm. The content of partnership deed is as follows. पहले है नेम ऑफ द फर्म, नेम एंड डिटेल ऑफ ऑल पार्टनर्स, डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ बिजनेस, ड्यूरेशन ऑफ अ फर्म एग्जिस्टेंस, कैपिटल कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय ईच पार्टनर, प्रॉफिट लॉस शेयरिंग रेशियो, interest on a capital payable to partner, the extent of borrowing each partner can draw, salary payable to partner, procedure of admission or retirement of partner, the method used for calculating goodwill, preparation of account of the firm, etc. Next है a document which contain the rules and regulation regarding internal management a company is called. Answer है C, article of association. A document which contain the rules and regulation regarding internal management of a company is called article of association, just as the memorandum contained the fundamental condition upon which company is allowed to be incorporate. Article are the internal rule and regulation of the company, hence option C is correct. आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन ये इंटरनल बिजनेस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बनाया जाता है शायद ना, इंटरनल रूल एंड रेगुलेशन ऑफ द कंपनी. नेक्स्ट है लिस्ट ए ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट कैन बी अडॉप्टेड फॉर, आंसर है बी आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन. अब ये चेंज होके कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 में टेबल एफ के थ्रू बनाया जाता है. टेबल ए of Schedule First of Indian Companies Act 1956 provide the model of article of association. In the absence of this article of association, a public company may adopt any or all provision of Table A. Hence, option B is correct. Now, according to Companies Act 2013, Table F provided model of article of association. Next, the article of association established the relationship between, answer है C, the company and its member and member of company. Article of association establish mutual relationship between the company and its member and between member of the company as per section 2 clause 5 of the Companies Act 2013. Article means the article of association of a company as originally framed or altered from time to time or applied in a pursuance of any previous company law or of its act. The content of article of association are as follows: share capital, right of various shareholder, share certificate, payment of commission, etc. Lien of share, call on share, the process of transfer of share, transmission of share, forfeiture of share, surrender of share, or voting right of a member, etc. Next, article of association can be altered by a special resolution. Answer है C. Article of association is a document of the company that regulate the mutual right of the member of the company and the manner in which business of a company is carried on. It can be altered by passing a special resolution in the general meeting. Next है in which order are following documents prepared. In which order are following documents are prepared. Answer है C. CADB. C है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन, ए है आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन, डी है प्रोस्पेक्टस और बी है नोटिस ऑफ स्टेटूटरी मीटिंग. The given document are prepared in the following order: memorandum of association, article of association, prospectus, notice of statutory meeting. Next है which of the following can be changed with the retrospective effect. Which of the following can be changed with retrospective effect? Answer है B, article of association. The article of association of the company can be changed from retrospective effect. Next है assertion है और reason है. Assertion है person dealing with the company shall be within their right to assume that the provision of article have been complied with by the company in its internal working. Reason है every person who deal with the company is not supposed to have read and understood the memorandum and article of association of the company. तो आंसर है C, A true but R false. Section 399 of the Companies Act 2013 confer the right of inspection to all. It is therefore the duty of every person dealing with the company to inspect its document, that is memorandum of association, and make sure that his contract is in conformity with their provision. But whether a person read them or not, it will be presumed that know the content of the document. This kind of presumed or implied notice is called constructive notice. Next है when the article of association does not authorize the change in the capital, then in order to alter the capital of the company, answer B, article should be altered. Article should be altered. The company clause can be altered if the article of association contain the provision for such alteration. Otherwise, the first basic step in order to alter the capital of the company is to alter article of association by passing a special resolution. Next है rules and regulation regarding internal management of a company are given in article of association. Rules and regulation regarding internal management of a company are given in article of association. It regulate internal management of the company and contain right and obligation between the members and the company. Next है a company issue invitation to public to subscribe to its share and debenture through? Answer is C. Prospectus. Prospectus is a document issued by a public company to invite the public and the investor for subscribing its share and debenture. The main purpose of issuing the prospectus is to inform the public about the objective and other things of the company and invite them to buy share and debenture of the company. Next है, which of the following company can adopt table A in place of article of association? तो public company. Answer है B, public limited company. सिर्फ पब्लिक कंपनी ही कर सकती है, वरना बाकियों को कंपलसरी होता है करना. A public limited company are adopted table A, now table F, in place of article of association. The article of association is a document that regulates the mutual right of the member of the company and manner in which the business of a company shall be carried on. Table A given in the Schedule 1 of the Companies Act 1956 is a list of 99 rules and law for the internal management of the public company limited by share. Next है table A of the Schedule 1st of the Companies Act provide the model of article of association. Companies Act 2013 के हिसाब से टेबल F. टेबल A Schedule 1 of the Companies Indian Companies Act provide the model of article of association. Article of association is a document which governs the internal management of the company. Table F of the Companies Act 2013 provide the model of article of association. Next are companies which need not frame their own article of association. Answer A. Public company limited by share. A public company limited by share need not frame its own article of association. It can adopt Table A of Schedule 1st of the Companies Act 1956. Currently, Table F of the Companies Act 2013, it is a list of the 99 rules and by law for the internal management of a public company limited by share. Next, article of association of a company can be altered by passing a special resolution. Answer is C. The article of association regulate the right of a company and manner in which business of a company is carried on. The article of association of the company can be altered by passing a special resolution. कुछ भी चेंज कराना होगा, जो चीज़ पहले से राइट है तो उसको चेंज कराने के लिए स्पेशल रिजोल्यूशन देना होगा. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है प्रोस्पेक्टस. According to the provision of the Companies Act 2013, the amount of minimum application money to apply for a share should be at least dash percent of the face value of the share. तो आंसर है D 25%. According to provision of the Companies Act 2013, the amount of minimum application money to apply for shares should be at least 5% of the face value of the share, whereas according to SEBI, it should not be less than 25% of the issue price of share. Next है, from the date of registration, a public limited company must issue its prospectus within 90 days. Answer है C, 90 days. A public limited company must issue its prospectus within 90 days from the date of registration. Every prospectus issued to the public should mention that a copy of a prospectus along with the specified document has been filed with registrar. Next step, from the date of the issue of prospectus, a company shall not start allotment of share till the beginning of. Answer है B, fifth day. Prospectus issue is a type of invitation letter that invite the public to buy share. The company can start allotment of share from the fifth day of prospectus issue. Next है prospectus issued by a public company limited by share when it issue. Answer है share to public. According to section 3 clause 1 का section जो भी a company may be formed for any lawful purpose by 7 or more person where the company to be formed is to be a public company. A public company limited by share get its capital by selling share to public and for that purpose prospectus is issued. Next, a public company should issue prospectus within 90 days for its incorporation. Answer है B. The document issued by a public limited company to invite the public and investor for subscribing the security is called a prospectus. A public company must issue the prospectus within 90 days of its incorporation. No company can allot its share until it has received minimum subscription amount, that is 90% of the issued price. Next है the misstatement in a company prospectus, the auditor liability incur. The misstatement in a company prospectus, the auditor liability incur. Answer है D. None of the above. None of the above. The company after incorporation issue its prospectus to raise capital. If there is an error of any kind, then the liability will be on the company and not on the auditor. मतलब कोई लाइबिलिटी ऑडिटर की नहीं रहेगी, कंपनी की ही रहेगी.